I stuck cushy. And further, it is true that many of my experiments had failed. No need to gossip about it behind my back in your social clubs and in the very chambers of the academy itself. Great ambition requires risk. You may laugh now at my door to nowhere, but someday you will not. Your children will likely see it as commonly as you see electric lamps lighting our streets at night. But a few short years ago, you would have laughed at Sukalov Arc Pylon or Wall of Light. Your laughter, your consenting smiles, they are nothing but evidence of your own limited imagination. And here's his door to nowhere. The door to nowhere has proven to be a safety hazard, but for me this project is an endless source of inspiration. With the proper application of energies, I believe I can transfer the door frame into a window of sorts, one that will allow a traveler to cover the distance from my workshop to some distant arbitrary point in a single step. Currently the step leads to a sheer drop straight down into the courtyard, but in time it will bring gaps that will boggle the mind. Such work is many years away, to be sure, but if I survive this plague, I'm sure I will succeed. He's basically trying to build portals. You know, you make one of them blue and the other one orange. I heard that should work wonders. Does someone have anything more to say, actually?
I once served under Admiral Havelock. Captain Havelock then. I don't know if he remembers me, but I fear it's rude to ask. I don't want to embarrass him. I was just a common riverman, hauling parcels and such along the river. But I know how to keep my trap shut, I do. This is about as far downriver as I care to go. Toward the flooded district, the river's thick with corpses. I've seen battles in my younger years, and I see you've got the stuff. Say the word, and I'll back you. All of the little people in the city like me, we miss the Empress something terrible. And the fact that young Lady Emily is out there somewhere still lost, it's just too much for most folks to think about.
Well, that was all he had to say. Well, a little more exploration is in order, I think. Let's get down here. And then here. Let's have a look around.
Attention Dunwall citizens. Be advised, the river crust infestation has spread downriver, as far as the river mouth and flooded district. Do not attempt to approach or destroy a river crust. Any items recovered from doing so are considered state property.
Yeah, we will meet those things later, river crusts. Anything under the bed?
My, you must be Corvo. I am Lydia, at your service. Your room is upstairs and ready. When they told me who it was, well, I thought you'd be older, like the Admiral.
Nope.
I'm sorry it's so dark. We can't risk being seen. It is a bit romantic, though, isn't it?
Can I take the
I
key?
used to be the hostess here. Oh, I could tell you stories about that, believe me. You can call on Cecilia for the more menial tasks. It's what she's suited for. I hope the bed's to your liking. Let me know if you have trouble sleeping.
I think that's it. Can I take the key? Well, another book. The Detonation of the White Cliff. Exception from a series of Overseer Incarnation by High Overseer Adam Templeton. And I say to you, brothers, it is here that you make our stand as a righteous force against the growing darkness. It is here that we unite against the spirits of the unknown that will drag us screaming into the night, never to return to our homes, to our families. Together we will serve as a rod to those who would stray from the herd, from the foggy grey waste of the outsider. We will burn a bright fire with our virtuous actions so that others will not lose their way. And to those who choose to wander beyond the walls of our homes, in far places, we will strike at them swiftly before they whispers to their neighbor, filling their hearts with strangeness and doubt.
Lady Emily Caldwell was abducted 6 months ago during her mother's terrible murder. Anyone with information leading to the location or return of the daughter of our beloved late Empress is required to speak to the City Watch at once.
Have you tried to talk to the Lord Regent? I think he knows. And we can go out here. I first want to loot before reading books. Well, the Shadow of Bitterleaf. There'll be a lot of reading here. This one. A Gaffer's Tale. I think we can find both Volume 1 and Volume 2 other place, so I'm not going to read that one right now. The Shadow on Bitterleaf. Exception from a long work of fiction. Finding my way by the feeble light of a dying fire, I saw her working. A large needle moved in her hand, following precise esoteric patterns, knots and loops of seamster's craft from ancient days. Beneath her needle, his body clenched and shuddered, shaking the wooden table. A morbid fascination pushed me closer, until she turned her blank face towards me, resting the needle in his flesh. With a refined tone she addressed me. So, you are the lover, I presume. You too have been unfaithful, and it is now your turn to be mended. The young Prince of Tuvia. Exception from fear to play. Lord Nathan Boyle, shaking with outrage. How dare you, Sir Cloth, so in my very home? I should hand you over to the watch, depraved Tuvian. Prince Kalisar moving closer. That's a harsh welcome for royalty, my lord. Your daughter treated me with much more hospitality. Alas, she has gone out for the evening, leaving me alone. Lord Nathan Boyle, stammering, studying the young man before him. What are you doing? Leave this house. Go back to your frozen wasteland, pale rascal. Prince Kalisar, smiling coyly, reaching out. No need for anger, Bettina, Lord Boyle. It is wrong. It is so wrong for me to be here. As I have proven, I have been developing an affinity for you and your family. Lord Nathan Boyle grasping. Oh my, Kalisar, your skin is so warm. It's burning. It burns. Let's close that. Well, that's this area. And this is the Admiral's room. So let's hear a few things from him.
Log entry 1-4. It seems we've moved to a new phase. Martin's improvisations have borne fruit. The former bodyguard has been freed and is en route to the staging location. With Pendleton's voting block and my military connections, all we've lacked is the ability to project lethal force in a controlled manner against a previously inaccessible... to the point, we need a man who can kill the bastards for us. Corvo is more than capable of that, I have no doubt. End log.
Yes.
It's off. Switch. Switch, where the hell is it?
Yes, and in here we have both of those. A Gaffer's Tale. So let's just start with this book and then take those. Admiralty and their fleet. Exception from a book on naval history. While each of the isles has some form of naval fleet, none is more evident than that of Crystal, with its long, proud history of great ships and the admirals who command them. Boys come of age in the cities of Crystal, hoping to someday captain such a ship. And family dynasties are made by those captains who track down infamous pirates or crush seditious uprising as during the Mali insurrection.